Islam Makhachev has had some success against our Anzac fighters,
Yeah.
Alexander Volkanovski, Dan Hooker. We're hoping that it will not be a 3-3 of fighters in our region.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gunning for it, I really want to, obviously just for myself, but yeah, I want to get that win, I'm gonna get it back for the
Dan Hooker has surprised fans once again, not with a knockout or a trash talk session, but with unexpected praise for his former rival, Islam Makhachev.
Islam, of course, you have fought Islam in the past before, but quite the shake-up in the welterweight division.
Cheers for bringing that up.
The two shared the octagon back in 2021, where Makhachev made quick work of Hooker with a submission win in the very first round. Despite that loss, Hooker has carried no resentment. In fact, as he looked ahead to UFC 322, he showed nothing but admiration for the lightweight champion's willingness to step up and take on an entirely new challenge. Hooker, now a regular face in Sky Sports New Zealand as a pundit, couldn't help but acknowledge the courage it takes for a champion like Makhachev to move up to welterweight and face Jack Della Maddalena. For Hooker, this was a rare sign of ambition that even Khabib Nurmagomedov, often considered the greatest lightweight of all time, never pursued. Still, Hooker saw the task as monumental, hinting that while his respect for Islam had grown, his prediction leaned toward his fellow Oceanic fighter, Maddalena.
Very well prepared champion for Islam Makhachev. He's obviously, has Craig Jones, who is obviously a master of jiu-jitsu, and he has an incredible skill set at countering the Dazakhstani style. He sees quite a lot of flaws in their style, and he's helped Alex obviously prepare for Islam Makhachev in the past. So the camp here with Jack Della is very well prepared for fighting Islam Makhachev. He is a guy, we see him like the fight with Bilal, he got a success. He definitely got my respect for being able to move up a weight class and fight Jack Della. Like, it's something that even, the greatest lightweight of all time, Khabib, who never managed to chase that accomplishment in being a two-division champion. So credit to him, but it's a huge ask. Obviously, we go with Phil Jack.
Hooker's remarks set the tone for a conversation that has divided the MMA world. The move from lightweight to welterweight has always been risky business, and opinions have varied wildly on how Makhachev might handle the transition. Among those offering insight was Gilbert Burns, a veteran who knows both divisions inside out. Burns viewed the shift to 170 pounds not as a disadvantage, but possibly as a blessing in disguise. Without the grueling weight cut, he believed Islam could step into the cage fresher, with more endurance and sharper reactions. Burns, however, didn't underestimate Maddalena's readiness. He highlighted that Jack had brought in submission ace Craig Jones, the same man who crafted Alexander Volkanovski's grappling strategy against Islam to sharpen his ground defense. Burns saw the fight as a pure chess match between two tactical masterminds, each guided by elite coaching teams capable of adjusting on the fly.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I've proven himself. He's number one pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much on that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think, and JDM has a clear shot on beating.
While Burns broke things down from a technical standpoint, Ian Gary approached the matchup from a much simpler angle, the physical one. In his eyes, the size difference would be impossible to ignore. Maddalena is a true welterweight, someone who could never safely make the 155-pound limit even if he tried. That natural frame, Gary believed, could completely alter how the fight unfolds. To him, Maddalena's power and durability were game changers. If Jack landed something clean in the early rounds, Gary was confident the fight could end in a flash. He imagined a knockout so fierce that it would shake the entire welterweight landscape and announced Maddalena as the new face of the division.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
Then there was Alexander Volkanovski, a man who arguably understands Makhachev better than anyone outside Dagestan. After spending 10 intense rounds with him across 2 epic fights, Volkanovski has felt the full weight of Islam's skill set, from suffocating grappling to pinpoint control. Yet, even he felt Maddalena might be the man to finally solve the puzzle. What caught Volkanovski's attention most was Jack's recent showing against Belal Muhammad, a fight where the Aussie not only neutralized takedowns but also took charge of the striking exchanges. Volkanovski admired how Maddalena dictated pace, stayed calm, and never looked overwhelmed.
So JDM is getting ready for Islam Makhachev. How dangerous is he for Islam? So he's going to be an absolute nightmare. We've got Belal, who's a wrestler. Look how we handle that. And you know he's a beast on the feet. Islam's not taking this one lightly. So him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
Carlos Prates, who's also fighting on the UFC 322 card, echoed similar sentiments but from a more emotional perspective. He couldn't hide how impressed he was by Jack's composure under fire in his previous outing. Prates wasn't focused just on the wrestling or striking, it was the maturity that stood out to him. He admired the way Maddalena managed to stay patient in moments of chaos, never rushing, never panicking. For Prates, this fight was about more than defending takedowns. It was about keeping calm through 25 minutes of non-stop intensity. He even believed that if Jack maintained that same poise, he could pull Islam into unfamiliar waters, drag the fight into the later rounds, and outlast him on the scorecards.
The main event is also in your weight class, JDM and Islam. Who do you think is going to win that?
I think the favorite is Islam, but Jackie show like he grew up a lot as a fighter. Since he stopped fight now, he was a long time without fight, almost 2 years, and he got really good skills to fight Belal Muhammad, defense takedowns. So I think he's gonna win.
You think Jack is going to win?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he wins a decision, or do you think he stops him?
I think decision is really hard fight.
You think Islam stays at 170 or he goes back?
If he lose, I don't know. It depends how he feels during the fights. How close is gonna be the fight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone shared that optimism, though. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who's seen every kind of striker and contender in the welterweight ranks, was more skeptical. He respected Maddalena's rapid rise in sharp striking, but he wasn't sure the Australian was ready for a challenge of this magnitude. Thompson has faced world-class opponents throughout his career, and he knows the gap between being a top contender and facing a champion like Makhachev can be massive. He admired Jack's skill but questioned whether the timing was right. In his eyes, with dangerous names like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary circling the top of the division, Maddalena might have taken a step too far, too soon.
Who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Yeah. Because, you know, this guy, JDM, just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, you know, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, you know, give him 1 or 2 more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev. Bigger guy, somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Belal Muhammad. Mm-hmm. I do believe Islam Makhachev striking is a lot better than Belal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
Daniel Dariush offered yet another layer of perspective. Having competed against some of the toughest fighters across multiple divisions, he knows how much physicality matters when 2 fighters are equally skilled. Dariush viewed Makhachev's jump to welterweight as a calculated gamble. He respected Islam's disciplined, methodical style, but also acknowledged that Madalena's strength, size, and relentless pace could pose serious problems. In Dariush's mind, the difference maker would be Jack's endurance and physicality.
Islam versus JDM. Do you still favor Islam in that matchup?
I'm going to lean now towards JDM. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but so I just feel like JDM.
Sean O'Malley wasn't too concerned with the technical breakdowns. To him, this fight represented something far more significant than just another title defense. It was a battle for legacy. O'Malley pointed out that whoever won opportunities in the future, possibly even against stars like Ilia Topuria. What fascinated him most about Maddalena was the chaos he brings into every fight. O'Malley saw Jack as a wild card, unpredictable, explosive, and capable of shifting the momentum in an instant.
Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Bilal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Big belt. Who give him that?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilia versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Steve Erceg, another rising Australian in the UFC, viewed Maddalena's recent fight against Bilal Muhammad as one of the greatest performances ever by an Australian in the octagon. He admired how Jack remained collected, never losing focus even when things got tense. Erceg compared that level of composure to Dustin Poirier's brief moments of success against Makhachev. Only this time, he believed Maddalena's heavier hands and quicker timing could take it a step further. In Erceg's view, that combination of patience and striking accuracy might expose weaknesses in Islam's game that no one else has been able to find.
Yes, I mean, I've known for a very long time that Jack is an amazing fighter. He's really good, and he shocked me on how good he was. Like, he handled the grappling exchanges so well, and it's the best striking performance I've seen from him. Like, he just, like, the big moment, like, he rose to the occasion. It was, like, fantastic to see. And I really do think, I do think that the grappling from Islam, like, he's a better technical grappler than Bilal is, but he's not quite as big. He's not as imposing. And yeah, if you look at the Dustin Poirier fight, Poirier was able to stop some of his takedowns and win some scrambles and stuff like that. I feel like not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Robert Whittaker made it clear where his support stood. Having competed at both middleweight and welterweight himself, Whittaker understands how even a few pounds can make all the difference in a fight. He described Maddalena as someone who thrives in the chaos of exchanges, yet never lets emotion take over. Whittaker didn't believe Jack needed to completely neutralize Makhachev's wrestling. Instead, he saw success coming from maintaining balance, staying off the cage, and making Islam respect his power. In his mind, if Jack could achieve that, an upset wasn't just possible, it was likely.
As you can be.
Because I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as like gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Philip Rowe didn't mince words either. He argued that Makhachev's build simply wasn't suited for welterweight. Facing naturally larger opponents, Rowe believed would make it harder for Islam to impose his usual dominance. He envisioned Maddalena's mix of speed, power, and precision being too much for the Dagestani to handle over 5 rounds. Rowe went as far as to predict that Jack's constant pace and activity would wear Islam down before the fight ever reached the judges.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chilling.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight, you've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So
Right.
we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in a fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop Islam.
Dan Hardy found the matchup fascinating for entirely different reasons. He's long been intrigued by how dominant champions handle new divisions. In his view, success in one weight class doesn't guarantee similar results in another. Each division has its own rhythm, tempo, and power level. Hardy believed that how well Makhachev adapts to those changes will determine everything. If Islam's body adjusts well, his skills could carry over seamlessly. But if not, Madalena's natural size and aggression might overwhelm him.
See John Jones against Tom Aspinall, which is the blockbuster. I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachev though. I think Makhachev holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, on any day, including Ilia Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have much success against Makhachev.
As UFC 322 draws closer, the MMA community finds itself split down the middle. On one side are those who see Makhachev's leap to welterweight as the next step in a dominant champion's legacy. On the other are those who believe that Jack Della Maddalena's youth, size, and striking brilliance could mark the beginning of a new era. Hooker's surprising support for his old foe added another twist to an already unpredictable narrative. His words set the stage for what might be one of the most intriguing matchups of the year, a fight that's not just about belts, but about proving who can push their limits further. Whether it's Makhachev's quest for two-division glory or Maddalena's chance to shock the world, one thing's certain: UFC 322 is shaping up to be a showdown that will redefine both careers, and possibly the balance of power across two divisions.